That is so nasty. Ugh. Safety maneuver there. Ooh, okay. That's always fun. What's up, guys? It's TwoWheelTrigger, and it is Saturday morning. Rain, fog, weather. Yeah. Haven't been on the bikes in, honestly, a couple weeks because just bought a new car. I mentioned that in the last video. I have lifted that car with two different lift kits, a spring replacement and then a spacer lift. I've put on some bigger tires and wheels, put on a full set of skid plates under the engine, under the transmission, and under the differential. Installed Thule aero bars on top so we can use our Thule box, as well as tie down a Christmas tree when we, get to that time of the year. Installed my BW hitch, then took it off because it didn't go low enough to work with my trailer, so I ordered a 7-inch drop, which also did not go low enough to work with my trailer, so I have maxed it out with a BW hitch's 9-inch drop 3-ball. I have a nicer hitch on the back of my Subaru Ascent than 95% of the guys driving around these gigantic trucks. It is what it is. So, all that being said, have not had a lot of opportunity to be on the motorcycles. Had a lot going on with work. Had some work meetings, had some PTO stuff going on. Been trying to diagnose a slight squeak from the rear sway bar, which we tried some grease, we've tried tightening some bolts, we've tried some white line collars that go on the sway bar, and now I'm at the point where I'm probably just going to buy new Rallytech lower control arms that will allow me to get the camber back in spec. It's marginally out of spec, and maybe that fixes it. But this is not a Subaru blog, right? So anyway, I'm on the way to teach a class this morning. Drove my car yesterday because I had some errands. I needed to go by the office, needed to do some things, and then realized, super, I don't have the key to get into the office. So I drove my car for nothing. So this morning I was absolutely going to be on the motorcycle. Tomorrow is a complete washout. We're expecting, it's like 90% rain tomorrow, and I've got to pick up Harley the dog, so I'd rather not traumatize him and do that in the pouring down rain. So I'll be taking my car tomorrow. So this was pretty much the only other day I had available to be able to ride. So the Pan Am it is. Not because I was expecting bad weather, mainly just because we've got a student in the class that has experience with Pan Americas and is considering a Pan America, and so we wanted to show him, hey, one of your instructors rides a Pan America. Come buy a Pan America. It's seriously a fantastic bike. But the Weather Channel app was showing like a really nice day with 0% chance of rain. So I pull out of my garage and I get to the end of my street and it's already pouring down rain, which I was not prepared for. Ooh, we got a little safety maneuver there. Ooh, okay. That's always fun. That's why we pay attention, folks. I guess this tractor trailer is now trying to tell that tractor trailer that he's got a blowout. Anyway, I can talk and ride. Yeah, super. Where was I? Besides ducking and weaving. So, I get to the end of my street, it's pouring down rain, was not dressed for pouring down rain, stopped at the gas station, filled this thing back up with gas while I put on the Starbucks pants. I joke, this is my Revit Grit adventure suit that you guys have heard about in many videos. So I threw that on. I have sprayed the jacket with Scotch Guard so that I wouldn't have to have the waterproof liner in it every time. And so it's done fantastic. I forgot to scotch guard the pants, so I'll have to do that when I get home today. Usually on Fridays we get home a little bit earlier, so I'll have to hang these up and scotch guard them and let them dry. But now that we're in proper gear, everything's good. Riding down 64, it's dark, it's foggy. People can't decide if they want to fly past me or hog the lane in front of me. That car up there is one of them that was doing it. So now he's back in front of me. At some point he'll be going like 12 miles an hour on the highway and I'll fly past him. But it wasn't until the sun started coming up, which I think sunrise is in like 3 minutes technically, which we won't be able to see. But I don't know what I hit, but I definitely hit it, because that is disgusting, and it's all over my windshield, and it was not there when I left the house this morning. Because y'all, I don't really wash this bike, but I would not have been coming out here looking like that. That's pretty nasty. But I am glad that it is on the windshield and not on my helmet. I think not on my helmet, and not on me. Of course, I could get to the range and take my helmet off, and like my whole helmet looks like that. Who knows? But yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I think since the last video I did, so not a whole lot's changed. It's still been stressful, but I've been managing. My son and I go work out together now, so I am quitting the gym that I was at, which I love that gym. It's just that he wouldn't be able to do all of the things that he can do at the other gym that we now go to, and it would have cost me significantly more money to add him to my membership and take him with me. So we were at the YMCA. I was going by myself, and it was like $50 I think a month by myself, and that's okay. It's got a steam room, a sauna, a pool, a hot tub, basketball, pickleball, all those things, but I don't use any of them. All I use is the weight equipment. So to add him was going to be like another $20 a month, so $70 for us to go use weight equipment. So instead I'm paying $25 a month for one membership at Planet Fitness. I can bring a guest with me every day, so I bring him along, and for $25 we can go work out together. So we've been working out for the last week or so, every day, usually after work or sometime during the weekend. So I'm sure I'll take him when I get home tonight. And yesterday we agreed that since I was not going to be able to take him after work, I would take him before work. So at 4:30 in the morning on a Friday, my son and I were getting up and heading to the gym, which, dude, props for a middle school student to get up at that time to go work out, you know? Usually they are staying up late as crap just to play Fortnite or any number of other games, and not really looking forward to getting up in the morning to do something physical. But he was all about it, so he got up with me, and we were there on time. We worked out for an hour, came home, we both showered. He went off to school with his mom and sister, and I went to work. So yeah, that's kind of how life's been for the last 2 weeks. Taking more pictures of the car, of course, because that's the new thing. And I have a decent social media following for the old car. Pretty good group of people that I chat with on there still. But just really haven't had an opportunity to ride this. I did have some parenting opportunities that were a challenge on Wednesday that left me a little tired. Yesterday, you know, from 4 a.m. to probably 10:30 p.m., being up and moving around and working and all the things. But sorry, that the headset's talking to me. I hear myself talking to the headset, so I had to turn that off. But, you know, just all the things renting opportunities that I won't get into the details of those. And a friend of mine reached out to me, and I could tell he was a little exhausted. This particular person lives up in the Northeast. Wife has a very good job. They've had to move around a little bit recently. Wife has a very good job. They have 2 kids. One, still in a car seat, like a baby. The other one, a few years old, and a ball of energy. And this particular friend of mine is a stay-at-home dad, which in 2024 you don't really hear a lot of, but it's totally acceptable. In the 1970s, it was that would be like a social sin, because the women stayed home and the men went off to work, right? But they made the right decision for their family. She has a very good job. She makes more money than he does. They have 2 kids. They weighed the outcome. The child care alone would cost them more than he would be able to pull in. So he's a stay-at-home dad, which affords him a lot of opportunities, right? He's a stay-at-home dad, so he does nothing. All day long, he does nothing. He just sits there and plays with kids, and they're happy, and he feeds them because food comes, pre-prepared, and they're patient while he makes the meals. And so he has nothing to do but sit in a cardigan in the corner of the living room with a good book and a glass of wine, right? Completely wrong. Yet that is the stereotype of a stay-at-home parent. They assume that you are doing nothing all day. Y'all, that is a full-time job. He has a baby. This man is waking up, if he isn't already awake, and taking care of an infant that is crapping its diapers, peeing its diapers, hungry, can't communicate its needs or wants. He's got a ball of energy running around the house that needs attention and affection. They are still unpacking, so he's got all of those chores to do. He's got a vehicle that needs work, that he is trying to work on at the same time. He's got house chores, housework to do. He's got to find time to feed 3 men, the baby, his son, and him. And then, wife comes home at the end of the day, and I've been at work all day. What have you done? Why are there dirty dishes? That's probably how it used to be, and might still be in some houses, right? But it's funny because, and this isn't a gender bashing at all, right? Like, nobody's perfect, and I get that, and I'm certainly not perfect. My wife's not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So, with that being said, didn't we have like this big movement for women's rights and equality and all that stuff? I think we did. And so that's kind of how we got to the point where, it's acceptable in 2024 for there to be a stay-at-home dad and for the wife to go off and make an honest, earnest living, right? But with the roles reversed, it would be a cardinal sin. People would be walking with pitchforks and torches to burn this man alive if he came back from his 8-to-5 job and said, "Why are there dirty dishes? All you've had to do is take care of these 2 kids." And so I told him that. I said, "Dude, I get it. You're both parents. She has a job. You have a job. Her job is from 8 to 5. Your job is from 8 to 5. Outside of 8 to 5, you are parents. So from 8 to 5, feed them, play with them, clothe them, take care of their needs. But after 5, y'all share the responsibilities. Before 5, y'all share the responsibilities." And I'll be honest with you, and I'll be the first one to tell you, that is not how I was when we first had our kids. My wife is a damn rock star, and she handled like 99.117% of it. So realize I'm saying things, but I also realize it's not going to always happen, and I'm certainly not preaching because I'm perfect. Okay? So, but that's the realization, right? So they've had a chat, and you know, now he's getting some more help, which is great, because dude was like the end of the rope. He had not slept more than like an hour at a time, maybe. He had like 4 hours of sleep total in the last 24 hours, and that sleep deprivation will mess with you mentally. Speaking from experience, back in December when I was, you know, rock bottom essentially, or at least as low as I thought I could go in the deep end, a lot of my mental state was probably lack of sleep, because the puppy was needing to go outside every 2 hours throughout the day and night. I still had a job that I had to work. The emotions of that time of year were heavy, so apparently now he's got some support at home. But that whole scenario got us talking, and there's this stigma around men either making themselves vulnerable, or men making themselves being honest about their emotional state or what they're struggling with or dealing with. And we get it, right? It's this whole perception of the man's supposed to be strong, right? Because that's what we had to do in the 1950s. The man was strong. He led the house with an iron fist. He went off to work. That's all well and good, but it's 2024. You can still be strong. And I think one of the strongest things you can do in life is be honest about how you're feeling. Because it's pretty easy to keep my mouth shut and not say what's going through my head. It is very difficult when I have to voice it. The harder something is, the more strength it takes to overcome it. Therefore, through scientific equations, honesty equals strength. Alright, so we've been chatting, and there's not really a resource for stay-at-home dads. There's not a lot of resources out there for men to just be open and honest. So, you know, he's a stay-at-home dad. He doesn't do anything all day, right? He's going to start playing around with that idea and see if he can come up with a resource. If you know of a resource, drop it in the comments. He's got my YouTube channel. He knows that these channels are out here. He does not know that we're chatting about this topic today, because honestly, I didn't know we were going to be chatting about this topic till today. But drop some resources in the comments. You know, if there's a blog that you really appreciate, drop that in. If it's a podcast, drop a link. If it's some local resource, don't know if that'll help him necessarily, but it may help somebody else that checks his video out. So drop them in the comments, guys. You know, we're only as good as our weakest link, right? And it's tough in 2024 to have a family. Kids are exposed to so much through social media that, you know, back when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, our friends were all in town, right? Like, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Instagram, we had AOL, and we had to scream at mom that we were on the internet and hang up, and we hoped that she hung up before it disconnected us. Like, we had the chat rooms, but they were pretty lame. Like, pretty much all of our friends were local. Now, through this quick ad crap on Snapchat, like, all of a sudden you're talking to somebody that's like 4 hours away or across the country, and you have no idea, like, is that person actually who they say they are? Now you can get them to take a video of themselves or FaceTime them, right? And then you can kind of tell who they are. But at the end of the day, do we really know who these people are? No. So it's tough in 2024 to raise a family. It's tough to be, you know, the wife, I guess. Obviously, I'm not that person in the relationship, so I don't know, but I can assume it is very tough. I know 100% as the husband and as the male, it is tough. Because we've got all these situations. I don't know if y'all saw that. I tried to grab 7th gear. Yeah, there's only 6 on this bike. That's how smooth this thing is, and quiet, which I like for days like this. But you know, as the man, it gets tough too. So we're only as strong as our weakest link. We got to support each other. We got to be open and honest, and I struggle with it. So that's what this channel is all about, is just a way for me to, you know, get my therapy while I'm out on two wheels, clear my head. Yeah, so good Lord, those are so, what is that? I can't tell if it's like tobacco spit or bird shit, or I, you know, sent a bug back to, you know, prehistoric times or what, but that is so nasty. Guys, I am 3 minutes and 1.1 miles away from my destination, which is the Harley-Davidson Riding Academy range. So I'm gonna bid you guys farewell. You know, I think in closing, all I can say is if you got something on your head and you feel like opening your mouth is weakness, just to be honest and tell somebody you have a need or you're struggling with something, get that crap out of your head right now. Maybe I don't know you at all. My Instagram name is in the description of every video. Shoot me a message. Say, hey dude, I saw episode 16. I'm struggling with, and I don't feel like I got anybody to talk to. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you anytime you want, man. I would rather you talk to me, a total stranger, about it, that isn't going to judge you, that doesn't know you personally, doesn't know your friends, can't gossip about you, than for you to live with that in your head, causing you self-doubt. So guys, I'm going to sign off here. As always, you know, if you ride, keep the rubber on the road. And, you know, if I was Bob Barker, I'd be like, control the pet population, have your pet spayed and neutered. See you guys. Bye.